Hello everyone, it's Frances here. I just thought I would come on and do you a little haul of things that I found or was found for me at the weekend. Okay, let's just start with these two little books. So this one's pretty self-explanatory. It's a Holy Communion, Epistles and Gospels, and obviously it says here Chapel of Her Majesty's ship Queen Elizabeth, which is quite interesting. I didn't take it apart, it was already falling apart like this, but these pages are just lovely for tiny little inserts in your journal pages. It's not very big at all. I would probably use the cover at some point for a journal, a little journal, notebook, 3 inches by 5. Thought that was nice. This is interesting, a cloth-bound book, so, you know, quite a nice book in its day, and it's a train spotting book, and when I first opened it, pages missing, when I first opened it I thought there's nothing written in it, and then I flick through and yes, there are, there's an inscription there, something about, I'll read it to you. It says, list of freight built engines corrected for 1917. And the pages are all handwritten, numbered, so obviously all numerical, with dates, the maker, the number, where it was spotted, and some of it is in beautiful black grey ink, and some of it is in pencil. That's blue ink. And I thought to myself, some of the dates were sort of 77, 81, 90 something. And I thought, that looks quite too old to be that age. Anyway, it turns out that it's 1879, not 1979. So it is quite an old one. There's some interesting things in there. You know, if you're a train spotter, even more so. Anyway, that little book, that will be very useful. Then I found some bits of jewellery, not precious, just sort of costume jewellery. So there was that one and this one. Now this one is not old, you can tell by the clasp. That one not terribly old, but very, very pretty. And how I use those is, for instance, this tag that I decorated recently, I put a tiny little bit of bling in the corner, as you can see there. But what I used there, because I didn't have any actual stones or diamante stones to put on, I used this stuff. What it is, it's just a mesh. You can buy it by the metre. I can't remember where I bought it because I bought a metre and this is just part of it. But it's sort of ribbon suppliers, perhaps you'd find it. And what you do is you just literally cut the mesh, because it's not metal, it's just sort of a fabricy mesh. You just cut little bits like that, she says, and you just put a bit of glue on the back and you stick it on your thing that you're decorating, you know, whether it be journal, mixed media, whatever. Anyway, so I thought you'd be interested in that. I mean, obviously this is quite bright, and so it's not as authentic looking as lovely old stones, but if you can't get any old stones jewellery, then that's a good substitute. Okay, so I bought those two from the same lady, and I bought these at Langport Vintage Market on Saturday, because Langport, which is quite close to where I live, has got a real vintage vibe going on at the moment. The lovely Kim Woods Vintage has a shop there which is open 3 or 4 days a week, and that's an absolute must if you go to Langport. And yes, there's all these store holders. Well, I think there was about 20 odd. So it's not massive, you can easily look around it in an hour or so, but lots to see. Then I bought this. It's a leather buck strap. with a diamante buckle, and this is sort of a mesh, but it is metal, but it's a very light metal, so I'm not exactly sure what it is. And I thought, gosh, can't possibly be a waist belt. And then I thought it's probably a choker. It's slightly too big for me. Too small for me. I can't quite do it up, but interesting. And again, cut up, these would make great embellishments for a journal. Then I bought this little brooch. I think it's really cute. It has some age to it. It's not precious, but it's got all these stones in it. It's got green, blue, aquamarine, turquoise, sort of citron colour, obviously paste. It does have a tiny hallmark or something on the back, but I can't quite read it. It's an old catch on the back, but isn't that cute? It's tiny, it's no bigger than a £1 coin, but it's great, isn't it? Then this was quite interesting. I didn't know what it was, and one of the lovely store holders there explained it, that it's probably about 1930s. These things here are called lucite, which is, on looking it up, it's a form of acrylic, very hard acrylic, supposed to be shatterproof. And this is handmade, and it's been bound with some sort of thread, and these are attached by wires. Again, it does have some age because it's got a lovely old clasp on it, but I just think that's lovely. If you were doing a fashion journal or something, 1930s, I think that's really sweet. And this one, again, not precious and not terribly old, but it does look old, and it's got this sort of a deep reddy amethyst colour, a modern clasp on it, which obviously tells me it's not a vintage or antique one, although I'll be happily proved wrong. Yeah, I thought that was nice too. That would look nice as a clasp actually on a journal, which brings me to this last thing and a little story. My husband has been away since Wednesday. He came back yesterday, and he was at a music festival in Banbury in Oxfordshire. He does it every year, and I used to go with him, but sadly now the dog's getting older, I don't go because it can be quite hot, not a great deal of shade on the site. Anyway, how many people's husbands go away for a music festival and comes back with a 1930s journal? I don't know, he's a treasure. And at this music festival, there's a car boot sale on Saturday morning, which is absolutely enormous. And husband said he would go and look out for anything that I might be interested in. He said, what are you looking for? And I said, well, anything that's handwritten. Not thinking for 1 minute he'd come back with a 1930s journal. It's got almost 400 pages, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it's the accounts from the early 1930s from a London-based decorator. Every single page is handwritten with meticulous detailing of the works that were going on in certain quite prestigious houses. I mean, for instance, there are the names of the owners, but that was Regent Street, London, Platts Lane, Hungerford. There's some absolutely iconic addresses in here. I won't go into them all now, but isn't it beautiful? I mean, I absolutely love journals and ledgers at the best of times, but one as old as this. Now this was interesting. Yeah. Obviously, I think the journal must have been used for someone who was trying to learn their lines in a play. And being into Amdram myself, I know exactly what it's like when you have to learn lines, and it's not easy. So the person obviously taped their lines into the pages of this book, which I think is fantastic. Yes, as I say, nearly 400 pages, 366 pages. Isn't that lovely? I will definitely use that, and thank you to my very clever husband. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little haul. of the things that I found, or myself and my husband found at the weekend. Okay, thanks for looking. Bye from me now.